So I'm sure you guys have been around kids or new people or just curious people, and a question that you're probably asked a lot is, what's your favorite color? So today I'd like to talk to you about why you should say that blue is your favorite color. So I'm a PR major and a minor in cognitive psychology, which means I'm super interested in what people are attracted to and why they're attracted to those things, whether they be colors or anything else. But today we're going to focus on colors. And I had a lot of fun putting together all this research for you guys to convince you that blue is the best color. So I am talking about 3 points today. Those points are: blue is the most productive of all the colors, blue lowers suicide and drug rates, and blue is the calmest of all colors. So let's get started. First, I'd like to talk to you about why blue is the most productive of all colors. So, in a study done by Anna Alcoze and her team of experts, I'll tell you what the study name is. It's really long, so I'll explain it. The study is called Exposure to Blue Light Increases Subsequent Functional Activation of the Prefrontal Cortex During Performance of a Working Memory Task. That's crazy long, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, so let me explain what happens. So, in this study, I'll give you a summary. In the study, Anna took a group of people and did some fun memory tasks with them, or cognitive tasks, and basically just had them play some fun mind games like puzzles and other things like that. Then Anna took those people into a dark room and had them sit there for a while to basically cleanse them of all light. After they sat in there for a while, not really doing anything, Anna split them into 2 groups. One group went into a room only illuminated with blue light, and the other went into a room only illuminated with amber light, or like an orangey light. After they sat in those rooms for a little bit, they did the same tasks illuminated by that color light. And what Anna and her team discovered was that the people in the blue light room actually were better at recalling the answers than people in the amber colored room, which means that blue light is actually better for memory recall and productivity, which I thought was super interesting. We're also going to talk about this study done by UNC Business School. And in this study, what the business school at UNC did was take the tone of each color, so whether it's a cool color or a warm color, and put them into different contexts where people were working to see what and why, if they were more productive in their work. So I've put a little chart up here. It's kind of hard for you guys to see, so I'm going to zoom you in a little bit so you can see a little bit better. And I'll explain what's happening in this chart. So, as you can see, there are 3 different types of color. There's a high color temperature, a mid-range color temperature, and a low color temperature. Let me explain what that means. So a high color temperature is anywhere from 4,600 K and above, and that's considered a cool color. Then under that we have what's considered a mid-range color, which is 3,100 K to 4,600 K. That's considered a cool white color. And lastly, we have a low color temperature, which is up to 3000 K, which is considered a warm color. So I've put some examples on here so you guys kind of know what I'm talking about a little bit better. One example is firelight. That's about 2000 K. It's considered a very warm color. A sunset is about 4000 K. It's considered a cool white color. And a sunny afternoon is 5500 K, which is considered a cool color. So what do we know about these colors? So what UNC Business School eventually discovered was that cool colors are actually better for productivity, and let me explain why. So cool colors, or blue tinted colors, are best for productivity because they lower the sleepy chemical in your brain called melatonin. That's why you're awake during the day, because on a sunny afternoon you have lots of blue colored light, which lowers your melatonin and keeps you awake, versus at night where it's dark or there's mostly just orange colored tinted light, like from street lamps and such. So that's why you're actually more productive in a blue tinted room, whether it be with blue walls or in a blue lit room, or outside during the day. That's why you're more productive in those areas. So another thing that I thought was super interesting with blue light is it's productive in more than one way. It's better for work, but it's also good for drug and suicide rates to decrease. And let's talk about those for a little bit. So in the first study, we're going to talk about Matsubayashi and his study that he did in Japan. And what he did was he took blue light and he went into train stations in Japan, which unfortunately have a really high rate of suicide because people throw themselves in front of the trains, which is super awful. And what Matsubayashi did was he put those blue lights into a train station and it actually lowered the rates of suicide. Scientists aren't 100% sure why. They think it's probably because of the same reasons as before, that it kind of lightens your mood because it's lighter wherever you're at with a blue light. But they just know that it does actually reduce the suicide rates. Another thing that it does is it lowers the amount of drug availability in an area. So in a study by USA Today, they talked about, in a really cool article called Retailers Testing Blue Lights to Ward Off Drug Users, they did a really cool thing where they talked about retailers putting blue lights into the bathrooms of their businesses and how it reduces the amount of drug users that can come into those areas. So let me do a little demonstration to help explain what's happening. So what I have here is a normal flashlight, and one half of it's colored blue and the other half I left it white. So on my arm you can see I have a super blue vein right here. So if I shine this white light on it, you can see it pretty well. But if I shine the blue light on it, it's pretty much gone. You can't see it very well. It's really hard to see if you can see, as opposed to this white light, which you can see super well. So imagine that all over a bathroom. With somebody trying to shoot up with drugs, it's going to be super hard for them to see their veins, and they're going to have to either go somewhere else to try to get a better view, or they're just not going to shoot up anymore because they can't see where they're actually supposed to be going. So that's one thing that I found super interesting about the productivity, both with suicide and drug rates and with productivity just in your brain. There's one last thing I want to try, and it's another experiment with you guys that I actually need you to do with me. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to close our eyes and we're going to think about the most relaxing place we can, just for a few seconds so you can get a mental picture. Open your eyes. So what I am hypothesizing is that you guys thought of something similar to one of these two pictures. This first picture is a beautiful little stream with a nice waterfall, and this other one has a nice lake with some mountains and a nice blue sky. And hopefully I was right and that you picked something that had some kind of blue color tint to it, and that's because in a really cool article done by Martha Roberts called Psychology of the Color Blue, she talks about how the human brain associates the color blue with calmness and being grounded in yourself, which I thought was super cool and honestly pretty accurate. I know when I think of something that's really relaxing, I usually think of the mountains because I'm kind of a mountains girl, but a lot of people think of like the beach with nice sandy tan and then a beautiful blue sky and some nice blue lapping water. And another thing that we can talk about with how color blue is super calming is by, it's in a really cool article that I found called The Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Feng Shui by Jordan Shakeshaft. And what Jordan did was he talked about Feng Shui, which is basically using the energies around us. Is an ancient Chinese method that uses the energies around us to create a positive environment. And the color blue is associated with that as being one of the most important colors out of all of them, because water is one of the most important parts of Feng Shui. And using that water to help ground yourself and create a positive environment and a calming and grounding environment all over the place. So those are the reasons why I think that blue should be your favorite color. You guys should let me know if I changed your mind, and if not, maybe consider again. Thank you.